I had to bunker down again. I've got aluminium wrapped on my head just to be safe because they were drumming my head. And now look at this. Can you hear the knocking? Hang on, let me find the spot again. Here. That's my bed. Can you hear the knocking? It's only here. I'm now going to move it. There's none there. These were shots fired into me. None here. Can you hear the knocking there? That's hertz range modulation. And so an attack still came through, which I filmed. Wait, I'm gonna show you how I have to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here, and I've just moved the shielding panels, but I'm going to get up. And I'm gonna show you how I have to sleep. I have to sleep like that, with extra shielding panel here from the side because I've got a Nazi neighbor over there. Okay, then I have to prop up the shielding panels, put them together, and sleep like that. And the measuring device you just saw is in there. Okay, and at the back I have to have an extra, this is the bottom of a metal cooking pan, because they are shooting into my head. Meanwhile, this is how I have to sleep, right? On my head, there. Covering my face as much as I can. Yeah, so let me show you. Can you hear the knocking there? Let me find it. There. This is, as I'm lying, another attack. This, as I'm lying, is roughly where my kidney was. And you can hear the knocking. Can you hear it? Okay. Now let me show you something. Can you hear the knocking? Different signal. Galloping. Doot, 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 doot. Yes? Knocking. Fainter. No knocking. Knocking. No knocking. Knocking. No knocking. Knocking again. No knocking. Knocking. Here. And an attack fired. And when I'm lying there, this goes right into my back. Yes? You can see this gets a bit more intense. No knocking. More intense. Less intense. More intense. Less intense. More intense. Knocking again. And here you can hear this metallic from the microwave. Less intense. More intense. An actual signal there. Can you hear it? Less intense. And this is coming down here. Knocking. Louder signal. Loud knocking. No knocking. No knocking. Hertz range knocking. No knocking. What could this possibly be? And meanwhile my body's being vibrated as I'm trying to sleep. I was trying to sleep without aluminium on my head and my head was shot to pieces. So I had to put that extra paneling on and I had to wrap my head. This is Switzerland. This is Zurich in the year 2017. My sleeping area is pulsed by Hertz range beats. You can hear it here. Very loud. Not there. Very loud. Not here. There. Not there. There you can. Oh. There you can't. You can hear it there. And very loud here. So it's knocking. The beam seems to be somehow here, going to southeast, no? Knocking. No knocking. Knocking. Oh, attack. But no knocking. Knocking here. No knocking. Knocking there. No knocking. Ooh, another attack. Boom, and that's how it goes. That's how I have to sleep. Okay? This is the reality. This is being... Oh, another attack. Just fired into my bed. Heck knows from where. Probably from below. Maybe from the Nazi neighbor below. Who knows? Very hard to pin down. And the military police refuses to investigate. They passed me to the BARCOM, the Bundesamt für Kommunikation, the Federal Agency for Telecommunication. And the military police said they have the equipment. And I asked them to take measurements. And I will publish the email correspondence, but they refused to measure anything. They essentially fobbed me off. So they know if they measured stuff, they would find things, and they mustn't find things. But meanwhile, this is how I have to sleep every night. Every single night. You know, this is being a Jew in the concentration camp in the 21st century. They don't march people to concentration camps anymore because they realize they can just shoot you up in your own home. So, yeah. Like that. Did you see that? And that's how it goes. It is now something like, what, 5 a.m., 4 a.m. It is now 4 a.m. and I have been shot up into pieces for the last couple of hours. It is 4 a.m. These are the Swiss Nazis run by Markus Seidler and the Swiss military, who have become so degenerate. The goal of the Swiss military for so-called national security is to shoot up women. When I first contacted the Swiss military police asking for help, they replied with an assassination attempt. I was shot in the head driving down the Serpentines from Davos after passing a military police vehicle that was parked in the road, presumably doing a military exercise. But I think I was shot into the head from the car behind me. But what coincidence. You passed the words military police, and it was spectacular how they parked in the middle of the street with guys standing there. And of course you noticed them. And then you passed them, and then you're shot into the back of your head from the car behind just before the outwards bend on the Serpentines going down the mountain. Swiss Nazis mutilating women because they're so degenerate that they don't know what to do with themselves. Nothing happens in Switzerland, so the military degies can only make their cock feel bigger if they shoot women in the head who ask them for help. That is what happens if you keep a fucking military. That's why the founding fathers said you mustn't have a standing army, because you will have a standing army of fucking degenerates with having nothing on earth to do. So what degenerate men do is essentially jack off, assault women, fuck women and children, may mutilate women, children, and murder them. That's what degenerate fucking men in the military do all around the world. And that's what happens. They are so fucking degenerate, they cannot be stopped. And the end result is concentration camps. You have to bunker down like this to be able to sleep, or try to, as best as you can. And I tell you, having these things, as flimsy as they are, is an awful lot better than not having them. Because I do manage to sleep. Without these, I am shot to pieces, literally. When it got really bad, I had to sleep in the bathtub with the Faraday cage on, with the paneling. And what they did then is turn up the power so that they shot so hard, such hard pulses, I could hear them bounce off the aluminium. I'm not the only one. Karen Melton Stewart says the same thing. You can hear it. I could hear that is a cast iron pan. I could hear the shots bounce off that thing. So imagine what sort of pulses. This is military artillery shot into women in their bedroom. And as always, the only question is, how many children does the military have to fuck to become so degenerate? That is the only question that I haven't found the answer to. But have a good look. These are the concentration camps of the 21st century. Okay? By the way, I also have, aluminium below the bed, below the mattress. But then, of course, you have to think about that they shoot through the width of the mattress and so on and so on. But this is how I have to sleep. Okay? Because I'm being mutilated in my own home by a bunch of fucking degenerates who cannot be brought under control because they have their must-have pedo fuck buddies in the judiciary, in the police, and in government, right? But military that has become this degenerate has to be exterminated because they're psychopaths. You either jail them or you execute them. You do not let them run around freely because they will literally start murdering intellectuals, especially if they're female, because they're a bunch of degenerate fucking men. The military has never ever in the history of mankind won a Nobel Prize. Most certainly not the Peace Prize. Okay? So when you see this, it's the sign that some arrests and executions are due. Court-martials, ideally shots in the head in the military, because they have gone mentally AWOL. Do you understand? This is what it means. Because they put down military equipment to shoot defenseless women up, which is a war crime. If it were a situation of war, this isn't even war. It's only war in their own head. Driven by I don't know what, their dicks? Heck knows. This is not driven by national security. This is driven by mental illness. Not this. This is defense. What's driven by mental illness is whatever the fuck just sets off my measuring device like that. And I tell you, when you're lying in there, it's painful. A shot like that is painful. And I tell you, the hertz range knocking, well, this measures between 200 megahertz and 8 gigahertz. So this is a signal that's modulated down. The repeated knocking, a hertz is a beat per second. If you can hear it, it's hertz range. If you can hear it and actually count the beats, it's hertz range. This is a modulated signal down. Very intense, localized, essentially, specifically there, but there seems to be a beam coming like this, And every night going to bed, it's like a military situation. In Zurich, Switzerland, not fucking Basra. This is Zurich, Switzerland. And the military has gone so fucking degenerate that they're doing this. They are running concentration camps and they're putting down AI-driven or computer-steered electromagnetic guns, microwave guns in civilian environments around people's bedrooms and shoot them up to pieces because the Swiss military doesn't have anything to do. So what this means in real terms is a desperate plea to be invaded, to prune these degenerates out by natural means, natural to the military. But I would say, before we allow these degenerates, to advertise any further to Russia and Asia, that they really need to be invaded because they're so fucking degenerate, they started turning on their own population. Could we please court-martial them, please? Could we fucking court-martial them at last? Thank you for listening. I'm Dr. Katherine Horton, trying to sleep at 4 a.m. in the year 2017 in Zurich with a bunch of psychopaths in the military running amok.